Hello, dear dreamers of sleepy science. Welcome to another quiet journey through the mysteries of our universe. Before we begin, don't forget to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let your thoughts drift among the stars. Tonight, we'll explore the secrets that even science, and even NASA, cannot yet explain. Things that live at the edge of understanding, whispering through the darkness of space, defying everything we know. Let's begin. The universe, for all its brilliance, is still full of silence and uncertainty. We have telescopes that can see the light of stars billions of years old, probes that have left our solar system, and supercomputers that simulate galaxies. And yet, there are questions so deep that even the brightest minds can only whisper. We don't know. For instance, what is most of the universe made of? When astronomers look at galaxies, they realize something strange. The stars, the planets, the dust, everything we can see makes up less than 5% of the total universe. The rest, the invisible 95%, is made of things we cannot see, cannot touch, cannot detect directly. They call it dark matter and dark energy. Dark matter, an invisible web that holds galaxies together. Dark energy, an unseen force pushing the cosmos apart. Two mysteries that make up nearly everything, yet we have no idea what they really are. Even NASA's most sensitive instruments, the Hubble telescope, the James Webb Space Telescope, cannot see them directly. They can only watch their effects, the way galaxies spin too fast, the way space itself stretches. Imagine that. Almost everything that exists is invisible and unknowable. If the universe were a great ocean, then all of human knowledge is just a single drop, floating on its surface, surrounded by an endless deep we cannot yet dive into. And beneath that surface, in the cosmic dark, there are secrets older than time itself. One of them is the origin of everything. We call it the Big Bang, but we don't know what caused it, or what came before it. Scientists can trace the expansion of the universe back to a single instant. A flash of creation 13.8 billion years ago. But at the moment before that, our equations collapse. The math breaks down. Reality becomes undefined. Some say time itself began at that moment. Others believe there was a before, a quiet ocean of existence that simply breathed out and our universe was born. NASA studies the cosmic microwave background, the faint afterglow of that beginning, the oldest light in the universe. It stretches across the sky, uniform and ancient, yet it hides something strange, a cold spot, vast and inexplicable, where the universe seems to bend differently. No theory fully explains it. It's as if the cosmos itself remembers something we cannot. Then there are the fast radio bursts, sudden flashes of radio energy coming from deep space. They last only milliseconds, yet each one releases more power than the sun emits in days. They appear randomly, with no clear pattern, from galaxies billions of light years away. Some repeat, others don't. Scientists have detected hundreds, but they still don't know what causes them. Neutron stars, magnetars, colliding black holes, or something we've never even imagined. Space, it seems, is alive with whispers, and we are only beginning to hear them. And yet, despite all these mysteries, there's something soothing in not knowing. Because every unanswered question is an open door, an invitation to dream. When science reaches its limits, imagination takes over. That's what makes the universe so endlessly beautiful. It refuses to give us all the answers. As you lie there, listening, imagine drifting beyond our galaxy, past the stars and the silence. You are floating through questions that no one has ever answered. You are surrounded by mystery, not as fear, but as peace. Because the universe doesn't demand that you understand it. It only asks that you listen. So breathe slowly. Let your thoughts drift like dust in sunlight. The same energy that moves galaxies moves through you. And as you fall gently toward sleep, remember this. The greatest discoveries are not made in the noise of certainty, but in the quiet between the stars. The more scientists looked into the cosmic dark, the more they realized that almost everything holding the universe together was invisible. Every galaxy, every cluster, even the space between stars seemed to be wrapped in an unseen net of gravity. It was as if the universe itself were made of shadow, a vast structure built from something we could not touch or understand. This mysterious presence was called dark matter, but the name explained nothing. We know it must exist, because without it, galaxies would scatter into space like dust in the wind. It binds everything together, quietly, invisibly. It makes up nearly 1/4 of all cosmic energy, yet it leaves no trace of its origin. No telescope, no particle collider. Not even NASA's most sensitive detectors have been able to capture it directly. Every attempt ends the same way, with silence. It is as though the universe is guarding its secret, waiting for us to listen more carefully. Even stranger is dark energy, an unseen force that works in the opposite direction. While dark matter pulls galaxies inward, dark energy pushes space itself apart. It stretches the fabric of the cosmos, accelerating its expansion faster and faster, as if the universe is exhaling more deeply with every passing moment. The discovery shocked scientists. Gravity should have been slowing the expansion down. Yet, the opposite was true. The universe wasn't fading, it was running away. What could cause such a thing? Some say it's a property of space itself, an inherent pressure woven into the fabric of existence. Others believe it's the echo of the Big Bang still pushing outward. And a few whisper that perhaps, somewhere beyond what we can see, other universes are tugging at ours, invisible neighbors in an infinite multiverse. Each theory feels both beautiful and incomplete, like hearing only one verse of a cosmic song. Imagine drifting through that dark energy now, through the silent wind that fills the void between galaxies. You wouldn't feel it, you wouldn't see it, but it would be all around you, like a slow cosmic tide carrying the stars farther apart. Billions of galaxies, sailing on invisible currents, receding into the night until their light can no longer reach one another. Someday far in the future, only the faint glow of our own galactic family will remain visible. The rest of the universe will fade from view, hidden forever beyond the horizon of light. It's a quiet, humbling thought that everything we see, all the galaxies, stars, and worlds, are just small islands floating in a sea of unknown forces. NASA can measure the expansion, chart its rate, and map its history, but it still cannot answer why. What is this energy that fills empty space? Where did it come from? What will it become? Science is silent, and in that silence there is something deeply calming, a reminder that the universe still holds mysteries large enough to make us wonder. Breathe slowly. The same invisible energy that moves galaxies also moves through you. Every atom in your body stretches with the expansion of space, just a little, every second. You are part of that quiet motion, part of the same unseen rhythm that carries the stars. And as you drift deeper into rest, let that idea settle softly in your mind. You are made of the same mystery the universe cannot explain. Time. It is the most familiar thing we know, and yet the most mysterious. We live by its rhythm, sunrise and sunset, heartbeat and breath, and still, no one truly understands what it is. Science measures it, but cannot define it. NASA can observe its effects, but cannot explain why it flows only forward, never back. It is as if the universe itself is walking in one direction, quietly, deliberately, and we are all being carried along. When Einstein described space-time, he revealed that time is not separate from space at all. It bends and stretches, woven together with gravity and motion. If you move fast enough, time slows down. If you stand near something massive, like a planet or a black hole, it slows even more. It's not just theory. NASA's atomic clocks aboard satellites tick differently depending on their distance from Earth's gravity. Without correcting for this distortion, GPS would fail completely. So time, the thing that seems so steady, is actually elastic, fragile, flowing differently from one place to another. But why does it move forward? Why do we remember the past but not the future? Science has equations that work perfectly well in either direction, yet reality chooses only one. Physicists call this the arrow of time, and no one knows what sets it. Some say it began with the Big Bang, that the early universe was in a state of perfect order, and every moment since has been a slow slide into chaos. Entropy, they call it, the gradual spreading of energy, the inevitable drift toward disorder. Time in this view is not a river flowing toward the future, but a shadow cast by the universe's loss of perfection. Still, that doesn't tell us what time is. Is it a dimension like space? A perception created by consciousness? Or something deeper, the heartbeat of existence itself? NASA's telescopes watch galaxies so far away that their light has traveled for billions of years. When we look at them, we're not seeing the present. We're seeing the past, written in light that has only just reached us. So when we gaze into the night sky, we are literally looking backward in time. Every star is a memory. Every photon is a message from long ago. And perhaps, somewhere in that vast web of space-time, the present, past, and future all exist together, not as a line, but as a single, timeless whole. We move through it like a beam of awareness, experiencing one slice at a time, never realizing that all of it, everything that has happened and everything that will happen, is already there waiting. NASA's deepest instruments have tried to see beyond the horizon of the observable universe, searching for the beginning of time. Yet the farther they look, the more mysterious it becomes. Some data even suggest that time may not flow evenly everywhere, that in certain corners of the cosmos, it moves slower, or perhaps even loops upon itself. What would it mean if time were not universal, but local? A rhythm that each region of the universe keeps for itself? And what if, somewhere beyond our reach, another cosmos began its own time entirely? One that runs faster, slower, or backward? Could the universe itself be a collection of clocks, all ticking to their own hidden beat? These are the questions that lie beyond science, beyond NASA, beyond mathematics. They belong to the realm of wonder. So as you lie there, breathing slowly, feel time stretching gently around you. The seconds pass not as steps, but as waves. Smooth, soft, endless. You are floating in the current of time itself, the same current that flows through galaxies and the space between atoms. It carries you effortlessly, without beginning or end. You don't need to measure it. You only need to feel it. The universe is not in a hurry. It has all the time there is. And tonight, so do you. Drift with it, quietly, peacefully, into the calm between moments. Somewhere in the distant reaches of space, there are places where time itself begins to break. They are not stars, nor planets, but collapsed remnants of both. Regions so dense that not even light can escape their pull. We call them black holes, but the name barely captures what they are. They are the edges of reality, where the laws of physics stop working and everything we understand begins to unravel. A black hole is born when a massive star collapses under its own gravity. Its matter compresses beyond imagination, crushed into an infinitely small point, the singularity. Around it lies the event horizon, an invisible boundary that marks the point of no return. Once anything crosses that horizon, a planet, a star, even light, it can never come back. Time itself slows as it approaches, stretched thinner and thinner by gravity until, at the horizon, it nearly stops. From the outside, a falling object seems frozen at the edge, forever trapped in that final moment. From the inside, for the object itself, it would fall freely into the singularity, into a place where our equations no longer work. NASA's telescopes, like the Event Horizon and Chandra observatories, have captured the shadows of black holes, the faint light bending around them, but not the inside. The interior remains hidden, unreachable, a secret the universe keeps to itself. Some physicists believe that the inside of a black hole might not be a dead end, but a passage, a bridge to another region of space-time. A wormhole, perhaps, connecting distant corners of the cosmos, or even entirely different universes. But if such paths exist, they are far beyond our ability to survive or explore. The gravity near a black hole is so strong that a human body, or even an atom, would be stretched and torn apart, an effect NASA scientists call spaghettification. It sounds almost humorous, but it's real. The ultimate reminder that the universe is both beautiful and merciless. Still, there are things even stranger. At the center of most galaxies, including our own Milky Way, lies a supermassive black hole. Ours is called Sagittarius A, millions of times more massive than the Sun. And yet, instead of destroying its surroundings, it seems to stabilize them. Stars orbit it gracefully, as though it were not a monster but a conductor, guiding a silent cosmic symphony. No one truly knows how these giants formed. They may have existed since the dawn of the universe, ancient engines around which galaxies themselves were built. Black holes are not empty. They radiate faint energy, a phenomenon called Hawking radiation, and slowly evaporate over unimaginable spans of time. When the last light of the universe fades, black holes will remain, slowly releasing their energy until even they disappear. And what happens then? Does the information about what fell inside vanish too? That is the great information paradox, one of the most profound mysteries in modern physics. If information is lost in a black hole, then one of the basic laws of the universe breaks. But if it somehow survives, hidden in a form we cannot yet understand, then black holes are not destroyers, but archivists, storing the memories of everything they have consumed. Science doesn't yet know which is true. NASA's telescopes stare into the void, searching for the faintest clues. The data whispers, but never speaks clearly. Perhaps the answer lies not in equations, but in patience. The universe reveals itself slowly, and sometimes not at all. As you drift deeper into rest, imagine floating near the edge of a black hole. You are weightless, suspended in the soft pull of gravity. The stars around you curve inward, their light bending in quiet arcs. Time slows to a stop. You are still, yet everything around you moves with perfect grace. It is not frightening, it is calm. It is silence made visible. And in that silence, you understand something simple and eternal. The universe does not hide its secrets out of cruelty. It hides them out of depth, because some truths are meant to be felt, not known. Sleep now, as time slows and the stars fade behind you. The unknown will still be there when you wake. Beyond the darkness of black holes lies a possibility that bends the imagination even further. The existence of white holes. If black holes are regions where everything enters and nothing escapes, white holes would be their mirror image, places where matter and light can only escape but never enter. They have never been observed, and yet, mathematically, they fit within the same equations that predict black holes. Some scientists believe that every black hole might one day transform into a white hole, releasing everything it once swallowed in a final exhale of creation. If true, then nothing in the universe is truly lost, only waiting for its return. But what if these extremes are not isolated? What if a black hole in one part of the cosmos connects to a white hole somewhere else? This is the essence of the wormhole theory, a concept born from Einstein's equations and nurtured by generations of dreamers. Imagine 2 points in space, or perhaps even 2 universes, joined by a tunnel so warped that crossing it would take no time at all. A shortcut through space-time, a bridge through the impossible. NASA simulations have visualized what such a tunnel might look like. A twisting, luminous vortex curving into itself, a cosmic river with no beginning or end. But whether wormholes can exist or be stable enough to traverse remains a mystery far beyond current science. Some physicists have suggested that quantum entanglement, that strange connection between particles light years apart, might itself be a kind of microscopic wormhole. If that is true, then the entire universe could be a vast web of invisible bridges, linking every particle to every other. Distance would be an illusion. Separation would be a trick of perspective. Everything would be connected, not metaphorically, but physically, through the deep geometry of space-time itself. It's a beautiful idea, and yet it stretches the limits of what even mathematics can handle. The deeper science looks into these mysteries, the more reality begins to resemble a dream. NASA's telescopes can measure the afterglow of the Big Bang, detect the gravitational waves from colliding black holes, and even capture the faint light of exoplanets orbiting distant suns. But none of these instruments can reveal what lies behind the curtain of existence itself. Where does space come from? Why does the fabric of reality exist at all? And what, if anything, lies beyond it? Some researchers propose that our universe is not alone, that we live in just one bubble within an infinite cosmic foam, each bubble a separate universe with its own laws of physics. They call it the multiverse. In this vision, black holes might be gateways to other realities, or the seeds from which new universes grow. When a black hole collapses, perhaps it gives birth to another cosmos on the other side, its own time, its own space, its own stars. And we too might be living inside the child of another universe, unaware of the parent that came before. But there is no way to prove it. No telescope can look outside the boundaries of our own cosmic bubble. NASA's data ends where light can no longer reach, and beyond that, only theory remains. Yet even in this uncertainty, there is peace, because the unknown gives us room to imagine. The universe might be infinite, not just in space, but in possibility. As you drift deeper into thought, imagine traveling through such a wormhole. Not in a rocket, but in your mind. You are weightless, surrounded by a tunnel of stars bending in endless arcs. Time dissolves. Space folds like silk. You pass through light, through color, through nothingness, until even the concept of direction fades away. You are nowhere and everywhere at once, a quiet consciousness flowing between worlds. If wormholes exist, perhaps the universe itself breathes through them, inhaling and exhaling creation across infinite realms. And maybe that same rhythm lives inside you too. Every breath, every heartbeat, mirrors the cosmic pulse that connects all things. You are not apart from it. You are part of the bridge itself. Let your mind rest there, in the calm between one universe and the next. Do not try to understand it. Just drift. The answers will come, in their own time, as softly and patiently as light returning to the dawn. When scientists look deeper into the universe, they begin to see a pattern, an enormous, invisible web stretching across all of space. It's called the cosmic web, and it's the largest structure ever discovered. Imagine countless galaxies connected by thin threads of matter, like beads of light on an infinite spider's silk. Between those threads lie vast empty regions, Cosmic voids where almost nothing exists. No stars, no planets, just darkness and silence. And yet, those empty places are as important as the glowing ones. The universe is a balance of fullness and nothingness, a quiet equilibrium between what is and what is not. NASA's deep field images reveal just a fraction of this structure, a tiny window into a pattern that extends for billions of light years. The galaxies form filaments, clusters, and knots, woven together by gravity and the unseen influence of dark matter. It's as if the cosmos itself were an enormous living network, breathing and evolving over time. No human-made map could ever capture its scale. Even the largest simulations struggle to represent its complexity. Yet the pattern is unmistakable, a repeating geometry, beautiful and strange, written across the entire sky. Scientists believe that dark matter acts as the scaffolding of this web. Ordinary matter, the kind that makes up stars and planets, gathers around it, pulled by its gravity like dust collecting in the grooves of an invisible design. But no one knows where this design came from. Was it born from the Big Bang itself, or did it exist before? What force decided how galaxies would be placed, how empty space would stretch between them, or why the pattern is so similar on every scale, from atoms to clusters of galaxies? Some physicists suspect that the universe might be following a hidden rule, a kind of cosmic code that determines how everything connects. They've noticed mathematical patterns repeating from the smallest to the largest scales, as if nature were using the same brushstroke to paint atoms and galaxies alike. Even the human brain, when seen through the lens of neuroscience, shows similar branching structures to the cosmic web. Billions of neurons, billions of galaxies, both wired through invisible connections that make the whole greater than the sum of its parts. Could consciousness and the cosmos be reflections of the same principle, unfolding at different magnitudes? Science cannot say, but the symmetry feels too perfect to be coincidence. Between the glowing filaments lie the cosmic voids, immense regions of near nothingness. They are not empty in the human sense. They still contain a whisper of hydrogen, a trace of light from ancient times. But compared to the rest of the universe, they are silence incarnate. These voids stretch for hundreds of millions of light years, vast oceans of dark that separate the clusters of creation. And yet, they are not useless. Without emptiness, there could be no shape. Without darkness, no light. The void gives form to the web, defining it by absence. NASA's telescopes measure these voids, not by what they contain, but by what they lack. The way light from distant galaxies bends around them, the subtle distortions in the cosmic background radiation. Each observation adds another line to the universe's invisible drawing. But when you look at that drawing as a whole, something strange emerges. The pattern looks alive. It evolves like a heartbeat, slow, steady, endless. Perhaps that is what the universe truly is. Not an explosion, not a machine, but a living structure of light and shadow, growing and breathing through time. If so, then every star, every atom, and every thought is a part of its pulse. You are part of that rhythm too. When you breathe in, the universe expands with you. When you breathe out, it contracts, ever so slightly, echoing the same flow that shaped galaxies. There is a kind of peace in knowing that everything, even the vast emptiness, has its place. The light needs the dark. The galaxies need the void. Existence itself is balanced on that quiet symmetry. So rest now and imagine yourself drifting between those cosmic filaments. There is no noise here, no weight, no time. Only the gentle curve of light meeting darkness. You are floating within the structure of everything, suspended in the calm design that holds it all together. No boundaries, no beginning, no end. Only the quiet pulse of the universe, and you breathing in rhythm with it. There is a mystery in the universe that is even deeper than black holes or dark matter, the mystery of awareness itself. Science can measure stars, galaxies, and gravity, but it cannot yet explain what it means to experience them. Why does the universe contain something that can look at itself and wonder? How does matter, simple atoms of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen, become self-aware? This is the question that physics, neuroscience, and philosophy all share, yet none can answer. Every observation made by science, every discovery by NASA's telescopes, depends on one thing: an observer. Without someone to perceive it, even the most brilliant galaxy would exist without meaning. The light from the stars has traveled billions of years to reach your eyes. And in that moment of connection, when energy born in the heart of a distant sun meets your consciousness, the universe becomes aware of itself. This is something no equation has ever fully captured. Quantum mechanics, the branch of physics that governs the smallest scales of reality, suggests that the act of observing changes what is observed. Particles behave like waves when unseen, but when measured, they choose a definite position. It's as if the universe waits to be noticed before deciding what to become. This strange truth is known as the observer effect, and it continues to defy explanation. If observation defines reality, then consciousness is not merely a byproduct of the universe. It may be a fundamental part of it. Some scientists have dared to ask, what if the universe itself is conscious? Not like a person, not like a mind we can imagine, but as an infinite field of awareness that flows through all things. In this view, every atom, every star, every living being is a small expression of that larger consciousness, the universe dreaming itself into form. If that is true, then when NASA peers into deep space, it is not just looking outward, it is also looking inward, into the mind of existence itself. No one knows where consciousness comes from. It cannot be seen under a microscope, weighed or captured by any sensor. It emerges from physical matter, yet it seems to stand apart from it, like light passing through glass without truly touching it. Some physicists believe consciousness might be woven into the fabric of space-time itself, a hidden property as fundamental as gravity. Others suggest that reality is not made of matter at all, but of information, a cosmic code that awareness reads and interprets to create the illusion of solidity. In that sense, the entire universe could be a grand projection, a vast, elegant simulation built not by computers, but by consciousness itself. Still, despite all theories, the truth remains simple and profound. We do not know why we can know. We do not know why the universe can be felt. NASA's data can chart the temperature of distant stars, but it cannot chart the warmth of all. It can measure light, but not wonder. That space between knowledge and experience is where mystery lies. When you look at the night sky, you are not just seeing light from the past. You are completing a conversation billions of years in the making. Photons that left their stars before Earth existed are touching your retinas now, finishing their journey through time. In that instant, the boundary between you and the universe disappears. You are not separate from it. You are the continuation of it. You are the awareness through which the cosmos becomes real. So as you rest, let that thought soften your mind. Your thoughts are not small. They are echoes of creation, ripples in the same field that moves galaxies. Calm you feel is the same calm that drifts between stars. The silence within you is the same silence that fills the cosmic voids. There is no line between you and the universe, only a different rhythm, a slower vibration, a quieter pulse. You are the observer and the observed, the dreamer and the dream, the question and the answer. And as you breathe, as your mind floats gently between waking and sleep, the universe breathes with you, vast, endless, aware. Rest in that awareness. You are part of the greatest mystery of all. The universe is not something you look at. It is something you are. For centuries, humanity has searched for a single truth. One grand equation that could explain everything. Einstein dreamed of it. Physicists still chase it. They call it the theory of everything, a formula that would unite the four great forces of nature: gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong and weak nuclear forces. If found, it would describe how every atom, every galaxy, every ripple of time and space connects. But despite all the brilliance of modern science, despite the enormous reach of NASA's instruments and the power of our colliders and computers, that theory still remains out of reach. At the smallest scales, the universe behaves according to quantum mechanics, where particles flicker in and out of existence, and probability replaces certainty. At the largest scales, it obeys general relativity, Einstein's theory of curved space-time and gravity. Both theories are magnificent, accurate, and proven, and yet they do not fit together. When scientists try to describe a black hole, where enormous gravity meets the quantum world, the equations collapse into nonsense. Infinity appears in the math, as though the universe itself is warning. You are not meant to see beyond this point. NASA's telescopes observe the echoes of this conflict. They watch stars bending light around invisible masses, see galaxies moving under forces we cannot yet explain, and measure gravitational waves rippling through space from collisions billions of years old. These signals carry clues, small fingerprints of a deeper hidden law, but each discovery only raises more questions. The more we know, the more we realize how little we understand. String theory was born from this search. The idea that everything, from electrons to entire universes, might be made of tiny vibrating strings of energy. In this model, each vibration creates a different particle, a different note in the cosmic symphony. The theory is elegant, even poetic. It suggests there may be many more dimensions than the three we see, perhaps 10 or 11, curled so tightly that we can't perceive them. But elegance is not proof. Despite decades of research, no experiment, no NASA mission, no particle collision has yet revealed evidence of these strings. The math is beautiful, but nature has not yet confirmed its song. Still, there is something strangely comforting about that. If the universe were completely knowable, if every mystery could be reduced to a line of numbers, perhaps it would lose its wonder. Science thrives not on answers, but on the space between them. It is in those gaps that curiosity breathes, and imagination takes flight. Even mathematics, the language we use to describe the cosmos, seems to hint at its own limits. Equations work perfectly, until they don't. At the edges of black holes, at the beginning of time, the math breaks apart. Numbers stretch into infinity, as though the universe itself is trying to tell us that truth cannot be confined to symbols alone. There are places where logic dissolves, where understanding must give way to humility. Perhaps that's what NASA and all of science are truly doing. Not conquering mystery, but listening to it. Each discovery is like a single note in a symphony too vast to ever finish. Each image from deep space is a whisper from a place beyond reason, saying simply, look and wonder. You can feel that same harmony within yourself. Every atom in your body obeys those same laws, the same dance of gravity and quantum energy. You are the equation trying to solve itself, the universe studying its own reflection. And the fact that you can wonder at all means that the mystery is still alive within you. So let go of the need to understand. Rest in the balance between knowledge and mystery. You don't have to solve the universe tonight. It will go on turning, patient and silent, waiting for you to wake again. For now, breathe slowly. Feel the equations fall away, leaving only the rhythm beneath them. The quiet pulse that joins the stars and your heartbeat in the same cosmic time. Sleep gently, traveler. The answers will wait. There's a limit to how far we can see, a quiet edge drawn not by distance, but by time itself. Scientists call it the observable universe. It's not a wall, not a border we could touch, but the farthest place light has had time to reach us since the beginning of everything. Beyond that horizon, space continues, endlessly, silently, but its light has not yet arrived. To look farther would mean to look into the future, and even NASA's most powerful telescopes cannot see that far ahead. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old, but because space itself is expanding, the most distant light we can detect now comes from galaxies nearly 46 billion light years away. It sounds impossible. How can something older than time appear farther than time allows? The answer lies in the very fabric of the cosmos. As light travels toward us, the universe stretches beneath it, carrying those galaxies ever farther away. The night sky we see is not the universe as it is, but as it once was. A moving photograph, an ancient memory still unfolding. When NASA's James Webb Space Telescope captures images of those faraway galaxies, it is not just photographing stars, it is looking through time. Each pixel of light in those images is a message billions of years old, crossing oceans of silence to arrive here now. Some of those galaxies no longer exist. Their stars have burned out. Their shapes have changed, but their light remains, carrying the story of what once. It is both beautiful and haunting, the universe showing us its past, one photon at a time. And yet, what lies beyond that horizon? No telescope can tell us. Perhaps more galaxies, more clusters, more cosmic webs stretching into infinity. Or perhaps something entirely different. Places where the laws of physics themselves are not the same, where gravity curves differently, where light behaves in ways we cannot imagine. We don't know if the universe ends or if it loops back upon itself. Some cosmologists suspect it might be infinite. Others believe it could be curved. A sphere of space so vast that if you traveled far enough, you might eventually return to where you began. But the truth remains hidden, beyond the reach of even light. NASA has measured the faint echo of the Big Bang, the cosmic microwave background, and mapped its subtle ripples across the sky. These ripples tell us that the universe is remarkably smooth and uniform, as though something gently stirred it in its earliest moments. But one region, the cold spot, stands apart. It is larger, colder, and emptier than expected. Some scientists think it is simply a random fluctuation. Others whisper that it could be evidence of another universe brushing against ours long ago, leaving behind a fingerprint, a quiet scar in the fabric of reality. No proof exists, only hints. But those hints are enough to keep the mystery alive. It's strange to think that even NASA, with all its technology, can only observe a tiny fraction of what exists. All the galaxies ever seen, billions of them, are just a grain of sand on an infinite shore. Beyond that horizon lies the unseeable, the untouched, the unknown. And yet, we feel its pull. Something inside us, some quiet intuition, knows that the universe does not end where our vision fades. It goes on, endlessly, patiently, perfectly. As you imagine that horizon, picture yourself floating just beyond it. There is no light, no sound, only a gentle hum, the background vibration of existence itself. Time slows to a whisper. You are no longer inside the universe. You are the awareness of. You drift among the unseeable stars, beyond the maps and the measurements, into pure possibility. In that place, questions dissolve. There are no edges, no beginnings, no ends, only expansion. The same expansion that carries galaxies apart, carries your thoughts into calm. You are infinite in this stillness, as boundless as the universe itself. Science may never reach the edge of reality, but perhaps it doesn't need to. The horizon is not there to stop us. It is there to remind us that some things are meant to be felt, not measured. And tonight, as you rest, you are already beyond it. Your mind gently orbiting the unseen, your thoughts as free as the first light of creation. Rest now. The universe is still expanding, and you are expanding with it. Everything continues, quietly, forever. Every story has an ending, even the universe's. And though no one knows exactly how it will end, science has imagined several possibilities. Each is born from mathematics and observation, and yet all share the same uncertainty. They describe futures that NASA can measure only in hints, never in certainty. The first and most widely known scenario is called the heat death, the slow fading of all things. In this version, the universe continues to expand forever, growing colder and emptier as its energy thins. Stars burn out one by one. Galaxies drift apart until their light can no longer reach each other. Even black holes eventually evaporate through Hawking radiation, releasing the last warmth into the dark. After trillions upon trillions of years, the cosmos becomes a sea of cold particles, evenly spread, perfectly still. Nothing moves. Nothing changes. It is a universe at absolute balance, and therefore absolute silence. The second possibility is more dramatic, the Big Crunch. In this version, gravity eventually wins. The expansion slows, stops, and reverses. Galaxies begin to fall back toward one another. Stars collide. Space itself folds inward until everything, all matter, all energy, all time, collapses back into a single blinding point. It would be the mirror image of the Big Bang, the universe returning to where it began. Some theorists believe that such a collapse might not be an ending at all, but a beginning. The death of one universe giving birth to another, in an endless cycle of expansion and rebirth. The third theory, both strange and terrifying, is the Big Rip. If dark energy continues to accelerate the expansion of space, there may come a time when that expansion overwhelms every force in existence. First, galaxies will tear away from one another. Then, stars will separate from their planets. Eventually, atoms themselves will be pulled apart. Space will not just expand, it will unravel. Time will stretch into nothingness, leaving only the memory of what once was. NASA's observations of distant supernovae and the cosmic background suggest that the expansion of the universe is indeed speeding up. No one knows whether that acceleration will remain gentle or grow uncontrollable. For now, it seems mild, almost peaceful, as though the cosmos is exhaling slowly. But the uncertainty remains. In the deepest future, will that breath calm or consume everything? Some physicists believe there may be other endings, ones we cannot yet imagine. Perhaps quantum fluctuations, the tiny tremors that gave birth to the first galaxies, could one day spark new regions of space, budding universes inside our own. Perhaps in the far future, intelligence itself will evolve to preserve meaning, even after the stars are gone, finding ways to store thought in the last surviving particle. Or perhaps, as some theories suggest, the universe will never truly die. It will simply change its form endlessly, like waves folding back into the sea. In truth, we cannot know. NASA can model the future, but it cannot measure eternity. Every prediction, every theory, eventually meets the same horizon, the point where imagination must take over. And maybe that's how it's meant to be. A universe without mystery would be a quiet one indeed. So as you lie here, listening to the hum of time, think of those distant possibilities. The stars above you may one day fade, but the atoms within you will continue their journey. Through collapse, through creation, through silence. Energy never dies, it only changes form. And so will you. You are made of ancient light, still traveling, still evolving, still glowing faintly in the infinite dark. You are the echo of the beginning and the seed of what will come next. The universe's ending is not a single moment. It is a rhythm, slow, endless, and gentle. Rest in that rhythm. You are part of it already. Close your eyes and let the expansion carry you softly into the deep. Whatever the universe becomes, you are woven into its story. And that story will never truly end. If the universe truly has an end, then what lies beyond that end? It's a question that stretches the limits of science and language alike. When NASA's telescopes peer into deep space, they do not only look outward, they look backward in time. But even the farthest image, the most distant signal, stops at a wall. What came before that wall is unknown and perhaps unknowable. And yet, physicists and dreamers alike have dared to imagine that beyond our universe, there may be countless others, infinite realms, each with its own laws, its own stars, its own definition of time. They call this idea the multiverse. In one version of this theory, every universe begins like ours did, with a burst of creation from nothing, a bubble of space-time expanding into possibility. If that's true, then our universe might be just one bubble among endless others, all floating in an invisible cosmic sea. Some might be vast and ancient, others young and violent. Some might have more dimensions, more forces, more colors of light, and somewhere, perhaps unimaginably far away, another version of you could exist, made from the same cosmic dust, shaped by different choices, looking up at a different sky and wondering the same thing. NASA cannot detect these universes, but the mathematics of quantum mechanics leaves room for them. The equations do not forbid multiple realities. They seem to invite them. Every decision, every particle's path, could split reality into countless outcomes, each playing out in parallel. To us, those other worlds are invisible, but they might be as real as our own. The question is not whether they exist, but whether we ever could cross between them. Some scientists have speculated that black holes could be the gateways. If a black hole collapses space-time inward, perhaps its opposite, a white hole, opens outward into another reality. What we perceive as destruction might be creation elsewhere. The death of one universe could be the birth of another. NASA's data hints at this symmetry, though it's impossible to confirm. We can see the event horizon, but never beyond it, just as we can sense the edge of our own universe, but never what lies outside. Then there is the mystery of dimensions. We live in three that we can move through: length, width, height, and one we travel only forward in: time. But the laws of physics allow for more. Hidden dimensions may be folded so tightly into the fabric of space that we cannot perceive them, like threads woven into cloth, too small to see. These unseen directions could explain why gravity is so weak, or why the universe expands as it does. They could even hold entire realities layered upon our own, existing in the same place, yet forever out of reach. It's strange to think that right now, as you breathe, you might be surrounded by other versions of existence, other universes brushing against ours like waves, overlapping in the dark. You can't touch them, can't see them, but maybe you can sense them in the quiet moments. A flicker of intuition, a feeling of déjà vu, a dream that feels more real than waking life. Perhaps these are echoes, faint vibrations from other worlds, passing through the boundaries that separate one reality from another. If the multiverse is real, then death itself might be an illusion. What ends here could continue elsewhere, rewritten by new physics, reborn in another layer of creation. Energy, consciousness, existence, all shifting, all recycling through infinite forms. In one universe, a star collapses. In another, it ignites. In one, a planet falls silent. In another, it begins to sing. The pattern never ends. Science cannot confirm this, NASA cannot build a telescope powerful enough to see between realities. But perhaps that's because such vision doesn't belong to the eyes. It belongs to awareness. When you close your eyes and imagine, when you dream, you might be touching the edge of another dimension. The thin veil between what is and what could be. And maybe, just maybe, that is the universe's true design. To exist in infinite versions of itself, all happening at once, all learning, expanding, evolving. There are no walls, no endings, only transitions. Every universe gives birth to another. Every mind opens to a deeper layer. Every dream unfolds into a new creation. So let go of the idea of finality. There is no single end, no single reality. Everything continues, changing, transforming, becoming. You are not separate from that process. You are it. You are one of the infinite reflections through which the cosmos understands itself. Rest in that vastness. Let the boundaries fade. You are everywhere, and everything is you. In the end, every question leads back to the same truth. That we are small and the universe is vast. And yet, within that smallness, there is something miraculous. We can wonder. We can look into the infinite and ask, why? No telescope, not even NASA's most powerful machines, can measure that spark, the quiet desire to understand. It is the oldest force in existence, older than gravity, older than stars. The hunger for meaning. We search the skies for answers, but what we are really searching for is connection. Each photograph of a distant galaxy, each particle detected in the void, is a reflection of our own longing to belong to something greater. And the universe answers, not with words, but with silence, the kind of silence that invites us to listen more closely. It is a language made not of sound, but of presence. A reminder that understanding is not the same as knowing. Sometimes, to truly see the universe, you must stop asking and simply be. Perhaps that is what the cosmos has been whispering all along. That mystery is not a failure of science, but its soul. Without the unknown, there would be no curiosity. Without curiosity, no discovery. Every limit we reach, every mystery NASA cannot solve, every equation that falls apart is not an ending, but a doorway. And through that doorway, imagination walks quietly, carrying the light of wonder forward. When you think about it, everything we are was once a mystery. The stars that burn in the sky began as invisible clouds of gas. The atoms in your body were forged in the hearts of long-dead suns. The consciousness reading these words is the product of billions of years of accidents and miracles intertwined. You are not separate from the universe. You are its most recent expression, its newest way of looking back at itself. You are stardust made aware, the cosmos observing its own reflection in the mirror of thought. Science will go on searching. NASA will launch new telescopes, new missions, new hopes into the darkness. And each discovery, each fragment of data, will bring us closer to something. Not to answers, but to deeper questions. That is the rhythm of existence, an endless unfolding where every revelation only expands the mystery further. It is not a puzzle to be solved, but a song to be listened to. And right now, as you lie still, you are part of that song. Every breath you take is a note. Every heartbeat is a drum. You are made of rhythm, of space, of time, of everything. There will always be things science cannot explain, not because it is weak, but because the universe is alive, infinite, and endlessly new. The unknown is not a void to fear, but a field to rest within. It is the place where wonder sleeps and dreams begin. So, close your eyes now. Let the questions fade. The galaxies will keep spinning. The stars will keep burning. And somewhere, far beyond the reach of sight, the universe will continue whispering its secrets. not in equations, but in peace. Breathe in the quiet. You are safe. You are timeless. You are part of everything that ever was, and everything that ever will be. The universe is not outside you. It is within you, thinking, dreaming, resting. And as you drift towards sleep, remember this simple truth. You are not small. You are the vastness, folded into a single moment of awareness. You are the echo of creation and the promise of tomorrow. You are the universe, learning to say goodnight to itself. Good night, traveler. May your dreams be as endless as the stars, and may you always find peace in the mystery.